The brick church Mandan village site is a Mississippian culture archaeological site located in Nashville, in Davidson County, Tennessee. It was excavated in the late 19th century by Frederic Ward Putnam. During excavations in the early 1970s, the site produced a unique cache of ceramic figurines very similar in style to Mississippian stone statuary, which are now on display at the Frank H.McClung Museum. It was added to the National Register of Historic Places on May 7, 1973 as NRIS number 73,001,759. Although this did not save the site from being almost totally destroyed by residential development. Site, like many other sites in central Tennessee during the Mississippian period, the brick church Pike Mounds site was a multi-mound village with an encircling defensive palisade. The site had a large platform mound 23 feet high and 155 feet on the north-south axis by 147 feet on the east-west axis, and several smaller mounds. On a ridge next to the mound were many stone box graves of a type found throughout the Cumberland region. Most sites during this time and in this general location were located along tributary streams of major rivers. Larger sites such as this were not drastically different from the dispersed hamlets of the hinterlands, but they did offer increased protection during times of instability. While politically autonomous from each other, sites in the area still shared a material cultural with other sites in the region such as Sellers, Old Town, and Mound Bottom. Brick church Pike Mounds was first described and excavated in 1877 by Frederic Ward Putnam and given a brief mention in the writings of William E. Mayer in the early 20th century, though it is unclear if he actually visited it. After this, the site remained mostly undisturbed except for farming until the latter half of the 20th century. During the last 30 years of the 20th century, the site was almost completely destroyed, razed for the building of a residential area and a Ewing Baptist church, although salvage archaeology did take place. Excavations. In 1877, a crew of 6 to 8 men led by Putnam tunneled into Mound looking for an interior burial chamber. Upon not finding one, they then filled in their excavations and restored the shape of the mound. Putnam noted many of the features of the site when he published his findings in 1878. The site would not be professionally investigated again for almost a century. In the summer of 1969, Charlie Fletcher of Vanderbilt University conducted a field school and did limited archaeological sampling at the site, although the results of his studies remain unpublished. A few years later, in the summer of 1971, a local youth discovered a unique set of ceramic figurines at the site. John Dowd, a respected avocational archaeologist from Nashville, was contacted and after visiting the location started the first photographically recorded excavations at the site. In the fall 1971, Mac Pritchard, the state of Tennessee's first modern state archaeologist, visited the site and was instrumental in getting it added to the NRHP, but was not able to raise the funds needed to buy and save the site from residential development. In 1983, the rest of the site, not already destroyed, was purchased for the purposes of building a new residential neighborhood. Over the next several years, a series of salvage archaeology operations were undertaken by Robert Jolly and later the Division of Archaeology. Throughout the 1980s, 1990s, and early 2000s, periodic excavations took place as the site was further developed, especially after changes in state law afforded Native American graves protections equal to Euro-American graves and forced the construction companies to do archaeological surveys to find possible grave sites. Important finds. In 1971, an unusual and unique set of ceramic figurines was discovered in the platform-like ridge adjacent to Mound. Excavations by John Dowd at the site of the discovery revealed a 17 feet by 8 feet clay floor from Mississippian period house that had burned down. The figurines themselves were of an adult male and adult female pair and 2 children of each sex, as well as pieces from additional figurines. In total, pieces of 11 whole or partial figures were discovered in the house floor. The male has an elaborate hairstyle which includes the beaded forelock seen on figures in southeastern ceremonial complex warrior images. The figures sit in a cross-legged fashion, with the hands on the knees, similar to Mississippian stone statuary found throughout the Tennessee-Cumberland region. Dowd was eventually able to acquire the figurines from the young man who had discovered them and has loaned them to the Frank H.McClung Museum of the University of Tennessee in Knoxville, where they are on display. Excavations throughout the 1970s by Jolly turned up many examples of Mississippian culture pottery, including 2 common varieties, Mississippi plain and Neely's Ferry plain. Other finer wares were also found, including examples, Bell plain, Kimswick fabric compressed, Manly punctate, Mathus incised, a hooded water bottle fragment, 1 plate fragment with a grooved rim, several ceramic discs, and a ceramic cylinder. Numerous examples of stone tools were found, including several hoes and a dagger of Dover chert. Excavations of a Midden Deposit in October 1999 produced a wealth of cultural material, including a unique perforated owl effigy rattle.